Now we're getting to a little bit more fun part. You're still sticking with me, right? You're good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
How about you, everybody listening? Are you good?
They're great.
Okay.
Thanks for asking. I just sighed for them. So remember when I talked about chaos, et cetera, et cetera? So nobody really knows where the chaos gods came from, how long they've been around. Some people speculate that they were maybe created during when the Necrons were fighting the old ones because of just how much, I don't know how to call it, energy was in the air. Others speculate that they grew to power during that time because the old ones before that were kind of the ruling guys. There are 4 at the moment, with the latest one being Slanesh that I told you about. But I'm going to tell you about them. So they get power from, I don't want to say the humans, well, let's say the races, from emotions of the soul. Okay. These can be positive emotions, by the way. So we're going to start. Have you ever heard the phrase, blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a Warhammer quote. Yeah.
What?
So the first guy is called Corn. Look at the picture.
I love corn.
That's right. The cornflakes. Take a look at him.
Yeah, I'm looking at him.
He looks like your typical.
Is that what your question was?
You're so basic. Your typical red devil looking guy with horns. Like he looks like every Diablo devil ever. His whole thing.
Hey.
I hate you so much. My coffee's kicking in. His whole thing is honor, right? He'll stab you in the front. Think honor, war, Ares, honorable combat, duel, any kind of physical martial prowess, violence, competition, conflict, the grind set. He hates magic, so he hates psychers. He considers magic and psychers like cheating.
He's just like big muscle man. No.
Honestly, and I know I'm going to make a lot of enemies because he is the most basic chaos god, right? Like, I get it. His armies just look like little devils. I get it. I also love the whole Satanist vibes, allegedly, but like, we've seen this in other games before, right?
Sure.
So I don't love it. I also think the whole honor, war, competition, honor again. It's just not my vibe,
She hates honor, you guys.
I do.
I have a question real quick. Did the Necrons, the Necrons, did they defeat the old guys?
Most of them, yes. They defeated pretty much like most of them.
Okay.
So but this is where,
while
also
they were
fun
defeating
fact,
them, the Chaos Gods were like, yeah, yum, 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 yum.
Basically, the Chaos Gods grew in power significantly. Number one, because now there was a vacuum in power because the old ones were gone, most of them. Number two, if they weren't born at this moment, then they for sure grew in power at this moment.
Okay. And where are the Khitans in this?
They also are like in hiding because most of them have been... these are like, I'm telling you about the old gods, right?
Yeah.
So, next one is my second favorite of the gods, Tzeentch, or Uncle T.
Uncle
if you look up Uncle T, he's got a lot of birds, a lot of feathers, a lot of eyes. And if you take a look at some of his units after I added Lord of Change and Kairos Fate Weaver, so he is the god of change, of hope. A lot of blue and purple coloring, which looks amazing. A lot of eyes, a lot of mouths, a lot of birds and feathers. He's the trickster and the deceiver. Change can be for the better, right? He is one of the only ones who actively pranks his followers. Very monkey paw coded, where he'll give you something and then you basically pay the consequences. We'll talk about the warp in the future, but basically psychers or magicians, they gain abilities from this like kind of parallel universe. And for example, Korn will not really talk to them in their head and try to get them to join him. But Tzeentch would. Most likely, if you're hearing voices in your head, it's most likely Tzeentch. Most likely. Like 80% of the time it's going to be him.
Take my meds.
Take your meds, girl. But he gains his power from change, hope, trickery, schemes, knowledge, sorcery, or magic / the arcane. Schemes. He's a schemer. He's a schemer and a deceiver,
so
right?
if someone's just like, I'm scheming up this thing. This guy over here is like, oh, yeah. Wait, so I'm confused why there's 3 different versions of him.
No. The first one that I linked you the picture, that's him. The Lord of Change is one of his units that you can summon, or like not summon, but that you can play in the battlefield. And same thing for Kairos, the Faith Weaver.
Oh, okay. So the birdie
They're
people
his units.
are his units. Okay.
Basically, if you see something with blue-purple coloring, a lot of eyes, a lot of mouths, a lot of feathers, birds, it's typically him.
Okay. I like
but
the
he
eyes
is
on
basically...
his hand.
Yeah, right? He looks really, really cool.
Looks like, have you seen Pan's Labyrinth?
No.
Oh, there's a monster that looks, well, not like that, but he has the eyes on the hand.
Pan's Labyrinth?
It's creepy. Hold on.
Oh, I've seen this photo before. Ooh, yeah, that is very creepy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, is it a scary movie?
No, it's actually not scary. It's really good. I like it a lot. Yeah, I think this is probably the creepiest part of it, because the monster's freaky, but everything else is is cool. It's really fascinating.
Are you ready for my favorite chaos god?
Yes.
A lot of people think it's Slanesh because we have similar coloring, but it's actually, he's not a real grandfather, but we like to call him Grandpa Nurgle. Look at him.
Oh.
Look at him. The great unclean one, Lord of pestilence, decay, despair, disease, infection, but also renewal, acceptance, and cycles of life.
Are you sure this guy doesn't resemble you the most?
I am going to strangle you, and you will. I am going to strangle you, and you. So anytime people are sick or they get COVID or anything, we like to say, "You got Papa Nurgle's blessing."
Oh.
I will strangle you next time I see you, and you won't derive any pleasure from it.
Good luck getting your hands through my neck.
I will do the little Luigi vacuum suck on you. So,
okay, yes.
I know a lot of people, when they see decay, despair, disease, infection, they think very negatively. But the positive of that is also, think about plants will die and then worms will eat them and it fertilizes the earth, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of the cycle of life. His units are extremely bug-looking, stinky, and bloated.
Oh.
So if you open his Primarch, Mortarian, how amazing does he look?
Yeah, he doesn't look bloated or anything. He looks so awesome.
But if you look at the plague drones later, the next photo that I linked, I think you have to copy paste it. Okay. You see what I mean about the bloat and the rot and the kind of they kind of look diseased.
Hold on, I'm going to it. Oh, yeah, I see it. You
see it, right?
Yeah.
So the thing with him, he draws his power from people being sick, from people passing away from sickness, doctors curing disease, acceptance of death, praying for safety and health, comforting, nurturing the sick. So if you become a follower of Nurgle, at first you will really, really suffer. Because if you look like the people, right, like you can see like their insides are popping out. Yeah, they're rotting from the inside. But after a while, they don't feel pain.
Okay.
They do suffer a lot, but after a while, they don't feel pain.
Okay.
But that's why he's my favorite god. I just feel.
How long is a while? How long am I having to wait until?
Well, I did say, I did casually say 65 million years ago. So,
could he speed it up a little?
Yeah. But he is my favorite. I just love that he's I love this whole kind of acceptance of death, acceptance of things, like just accepting your faith. Still, Tzeentch is easily my second favorite just because of the color scheme and the trickery and everything. But this is where we get to Slanesh, who I just told you about, right? So these 3 existed for a really long time. Slanesh, I think according to my timeline, was only beginning to be birthed at 25. So if right now we're at the present is 40,000 years, right? Slanesh was trying to be birthed at 25,000 years, so 25K. Okay. So, Prince of Darkness, She Who Thirsts, Prince of Pleasure, Lord of Unspeakable Excess, the youngest god, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, lust, greed, excess, pain, pleasure, hedonism, pursuit perfection. Now, considered extremely powerful due to being able to draw power from many sources. And I made this joke to DK and Bricky where I was like, they're basically a trust fund baby chaos god. They're a nepotism chaos god.
Oh.
Because while these other chaos gods had to draw their powers slowly through 65 million years plus, Slaanesh got birthed and basically Slaanesh is the landlord of billions of Eldari souls that they basically just woke up one day, inherited a whole race of people and got to eat most of them. Yeah.
Okay.
They're the landlord and like every Eldari owes them rent.
Ooh, okay.
Now, something I didn't really touch upon, but for example, the Eldari, right? That's kind of the overview of the race. But in the Eldari, there's also like little subsets. For example, the Drukhari, the Harlequins. I know about those. We're not going to get into all of those.
Okay.
Right now, the way it looks is like 90% of the Eldari, 99 of them are not alive.
Oh.
They're not doing so good. The ones who are alive are typically the ones who kind of escaped on craft worlds or some of the Harlequins that are being protected by another god. But they're not doing too good. Now take a look at what Slaanesh looks like, right?
Oh, she's hot.
Mm-hmm. That's why a lot of folks were saying, are you sure, Matara, you don't love Slaanesh? My problem with Slaanesh in Warhammer 40K is that in Warhammer 40K, let me show you. I think Slaanesh's units in Warhammer 40K suck. Oh. I think Slaanesh's units in Warhammer 40K look really silly and not that great. But then I'll show you Slaanesh's units in the let me show you. Like they look all right, but they basically look like sexy crabs, right? Which is fine.
Crabs.
Yeah.
You're selling it. You're actually selling. What are you talking about?
The Daemonettes of Slaanesh. They look like sexy crabs, right? They're fine. But they look like ghoulish sexy crabs, right?
Like mer people, like accurate.
Kind of. But let me show you this right here. This is from Age of Sigmar. Take a look at this picture right there that I just linked.
Yeah,
look at the harp.
Just looking at that earlier.
It's a human flesh harp. How freaking cool is that?
Infernal and rapturous.
Right? Wow. It's a flesh harp. They have flesh chairs. They have flesh everything. I just feel, and I've talked about it before, and I know typically like you could use some of these units in 40K, but I just feel like Dexessa, the Talon of Slaanesh, doesn't this look like something from, there was a movie like this, no? Mistress something of the Damned?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I think, yes, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Queen of the Damned, right?
Queen of the Damned, yeah.
Wow. It looks so Queen of the Damned coded and like, wow.
Wow.